I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won. Chop, chop, chop. You gon' flip. Chop, chop, chop. You gon' flip. Chop, chop, chop. You gon' flip. Chop, chop, chop.
Welcome to the Immaculate Negro podcast, episode 5. As you can see from the title of this episode, we're going to be talking about women today. So first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to all the queens in my life. You guys continue to inspire me and motivate me every day, just with your courage, your intelligence, your conviction, your relentless nature, and everything that you are. And as men in this world, we have to really do better and understand and appreciate the women we have around us. And when each of us can take responsibility for ourselves and the men around us, maybe we can start to see progress in this decrepit world that we live in. So first off, I want to talk about patriarchy and the idea of it and how nonsense it is. So just take a second, right? Everybody listen to this right now. Take a second and think about the women in your life. Think about if they weren't there, if you didn't have them, if their influence wasn't around, if you couldn't talk to them, if they didn't contribute to your existence, how much worse off would you be? So how can there be a whole ideology, a whole system of being that excludes them? How can men be so sure of themselves that we put ourselves at the top of this hierarchy, on this pedestal, and then we begin to look down and oppress women? Like, how can that really be possible? And it sounds so egregious and error, but it's not only possible, but it's the standard of life. Now, maybe not every corner and nook and cranny of the globe has women who are oppressed, but throughout history, patriarchy has really been the overlying dominant ideology that has governed our existence as human beings. And with that, it's the rule of men that has become synonymous with the rule of law. It's what men decide and what they deem valuable and credible and worthy of anything that really becomes something. And it's honestly so shocking to me. So I want to really put it in perspective for you. In life, we have this sociological hierarchy, right? Everybody understands that, where it's really quote unquote white heterosexual males that stand at the top of this hierarchy and everybody below. And so we have different groups of people that are now fighting for equality and fighting for rights and fighting for a space where they can belong. And before any of that, we were oppressing women. Before we crossed over oceans and pioneered through lands, before we found each other across the globe, before human beings from all over the world connected and oppressed each other, there were women next to us who we were oppressing. There were women in our lives who we were taking away rights from, who we were looking at as less than. So in my mind, women are really and truly and literally the first oppressed people. Like, think about that. Before anything else, we were oppressing the women next to us. So as men and as a society, we really and truly need to take this problem, this disease, this scourge of patriarchy more seriously. We need to understand that nothing is going to change unless we actively make moves to change it. We consciously make decisions to change ourselves and our being, and the manner which we talk and approach and joke and look at and just move entirely as men. Because if you look at all the progress women have made towards equality throughout history, it wasn't necessarily men recognizing the error in their ways or the flaws in their lifestyle. It was women standing up for themselves and demanding equality, demanding a space to exist equally, demanding equity, demanding everything that they shouldn't have to demand. They should already have it, because there's really no difference between men and women. Like, we are equals in every single sense of the word. So how can this ideology be so accepted? It's ingrained in men and even women. It's such a norm in our society that a lot of people don't even recognize their involvement in it. They don't even recognize how they're keeping it going, how they're giving it life, how they're fueling the fire. And so we need to start recognizing it. We need to start being conscious of these things. Otherwise, like anything else, it will never get better. So what has to happen is everybody, man, woman, and child, needs to be a feminist. You have to understand and advocate for women's rights and equality, because that's really all feminism is. And if you can't get behind and support that, then you really need to ask yourself why. Why are you so against the progress of women? Why are you so against a proper egalitarian society? Is it because you're afraid of losing your place in the hierarchy? Is it because you just hate women? Is it because you hate everybody? Because that's really the only justification I could really think of. So we need to revisit this idea of feminism and understand that it's something that can and should apply to everybody. We all should be part feminist, if not entirely feminist. So with that being said, I kind of want to conclude with a question, because this is something I genuinely think about and wonder. If you are okay or accepting of the oppression of your life, does that mean you're no longer oppressed? And I guess to bring clarity to that statement, I always think about women of different religions who have certain restrictions put on their life. And on the outside looking in, it's like, damn, like these women are oppressed, they're suffering, they're this, they're that, and the third, but I'm on the outside. On the inside, you have those very same women defending their culture, defending their lifestyle, claiming that I'm happy, this is what I want, this is that. And so does that mean they're not oppressed, even though it may blatantly seem like they're oppressed? Does that mean that if you've come to accept your oppressed lifestyle as your standard of living, that it becomes okay? Or does that mean that we should still work to change it, and they have been indoctrinated into believing this no matter what? They believe this so strongly that in the face of evidence to the contrary, they refuse to acknowledge it. So I don't know. I guess a man can't answer that question. I'd have to talk to some women to get some clarity, but I just want to leave you guys with those thoughts. I want you to think about it and, tell me what you think. And as always, thank you for listening, and God bless.